I've been in a weird mood all week. Medical tests, high blood pressure found, COVID drama. Well, not with me, but anyway, there's a lot of COVID drama. And I think it's time to spill some tea. No, not this kind of tea, though I do spill it on myself every day. I'm talking booktuber tea. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Marilyn Maya, the baby boomer booktuber, or as I like to say, one of the oldest creators on BookTube. Welcome to my mini book haul, and there's going to be some tea spilled today. When you join BookTube at age 70, there's a lot of terms you have to learn. There's TBRs, DNFs, book hauls, unhauls. Well, you get the general idea. But there's also other words that maybe millennials know that I don't know, like spilling tea. Maybe that's an old term, but I never heard of it before now. And also basic bitch. I still don't know what that means, so if anybody can tell me. I don't think I'm a basic bitch from what I can gather. I do have some tea to spill, and that will come a little later in this video, which is a short video. But first I wanted to haul some books. And the first book is The Hawaii Home Book, Practical Tips for Tropical Living by Karen Anderson. And I'm not going to read the first paragraph because it's not that kind of book. But I had bought this at a library book sale, and I have never read it completely. I was kind of turned off by a picture of a rat in here. I have a phobia against rats, and I know a lot of people love rats, but if I see one, I will move. I have moved because of a rodent. So, you know, and I'm finding out that rodents are friendly, but I still don't want to get into their path. But when you have a home in Hawaii, no matter how modest, I think that this book will come in handy. And we have a lot of critters in Hawaii. We have a lot of critters, and I have critters in my house, but they're dogs. But there's critters, there's ants and roaches and mice and rats and little squiggly things that crawl up your wall. But I'm going to read this. If you want to read it, if you have any desire to live in a tropical environment, I suggest you read it. My next book is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. It is said to be a retelling of her sister Emily Bronte's life, but in a richer environment, monetarily speaking. And I'll read you the first paragraph, as I'm wont to do. Of late years, an abundant shower of curates has fallen upon the north of England. They lie very thick on the hills. Every parish has one or more of them. They are young enough to be very active and ought to be doing a great deal of good. This sounds really interesting, and I think she's talking about parish preachers, and I think this has a lot to do with that. But it also has to do with two women and governesses, and I think that's why it's said to be about Emily Bronte, who was a governess. It's supposed to be about her sister's life. It said something about Charlotte Bronte never expected to marry when she wrote this book. So I'm wondering if she married a preacher. But I'm looking forward to reading this book. Even though it's not Victober, it's pretty much a reasonable size of book to read. Okay, and my last book is a book that I had ordered from the library, and I was like 78 on the list, so I thought I would not get it for a long time. But Hawaii being Hawaii, And COVID being COVID, I got it. And I was surprised to look, when I looked at it, there's only 4 people that took it out. So of all those 76 people, only I'm the 5th person. So I don't know what happened with that, but I think that had something to do with why I got it so fast. And it's called Wow, No Thank You. Wow, No Thank You by Samantha Irby, and it's in essays. And I wasn't really excited about it because I'm not a person who reads essays a lot. But let me tell you, this is, as they said, spit out your beverage funny. And I did find it that way. Now, Samantha Irby is an African-American woman. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about this book. I just knew that I had heard it on BookTube a lot. And so it said it was really good, it was really funny. And she also wrote the book, We Are Never Meeting in Real Life, which I heard about, but I didn't read. Okay, let's read the first line. I live for a glamorous lifestyle blog featuring some gorgeous ingenue with piles of secret wealth that she never divulges to the unsuspecting slobs on the other side of the screen. And I wasn't really crazy about that first line. I live for a glamorous lifestyle blog. I don't know, it sounded clunky to me. But let me tell you, I started reading this and it's hysterical. And I'm not going to go into it very much, except I know a lot of people annotate. I'm not an annotator. When I went to college, I was more of a highlighter. But like my boyfriend says, I'm going to annotate the shiitake mushroom out of this. We don't like to swear. Anyway, it really is a wonderful book. And I thought, I read it sort of a few essays here and there, and then I stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning reading it. I still haven't really gotten to it. And she really goes into stuff and that I am interested in and that I've lived through. So I will wait to say more when I do a wrap up, but I really love this book so far. And she tells it all. She really does. Okay, now for the tea that you've all been waiting for. The tea. When you join BookTube, or I guess any YouTube channel, any YouTube niche, you meet people. And it's a wonderful thing. So far it's been a wonderful thing for me because I go on other people's BookTube channels and I get to like them and I get to like their material. And then you see comments and then you go to other BookTubers and it's like a chain and you really begin to become part of the community. I was surprised. There is a BookTuber and he shall remain nameless, except he's a man, he's white, and he's older. Did you guess who he is? Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, I was on his channel because some of my friends on BookTube follow him or are subscribers to him. And I don't know when this video was made. It could have been, you know how BookTube does, he puts a video up 5 years ago and you get into it. So I don't know when it was made, but still, I couldn't believe what I was reading. Okay, so he makes a comment about why do BookTubers read children's books? Okay, I said, that's his opinion, and I'm sure that many BookTubers don't agree with him because there's a lot of middle grade and young adult on BookTube. So already he's not going to be popular on YouTube, I thought. And I'm starting to reread my young adult books and my middle grade because it's fun. But then he said he's not into the feels, the trigger warnings, because you read with your mind, not your whole body. What? Is he serious? I don't read with my mind. I read with my heart. I read with all of my body. I'm a holistic person. We're all holistic beings. So, and then he mentioned trigger warnings, and then I said, uh-oh, the tea has to be spilled today. So he said he doesn't like the feels or trigger warnings. Now, as a person with PTSD and other conditions because of things that happened to me in my life, I do appreciate trigger warnings. And I think that by saying that, he is dismissing a lot of women and men who go through a lot of trauma. So I had to spill some tea and say, I do not agree with what this person says. No matter how smart he is, no matter how smart other people think he is, because he has a lot of subscribers. And I'm just a little small booktuber with hardly any. I don't care. I said in my first video on my 70th birthday that I'm not afraid to have a rant once in a while if something bothers me. Hey, not only am I 70, but I am Puerto Rican, Latina, Jewish, and from Brooklyn, New York. So we're not that shy when it comes to ranting. So I had to give a rant about him. And regarding the words that people use about, old people use, I have some words. Okay, my mother was a typist, 100-word a minute typist on a manual typewriter. So she taught me this because it uses all the letters in the board. And it's, your demands are too copious for my diminutive comprehension. Kindly elucidate more explicitly. And what it means, I'm sure you know what it means. I don't understand you for my diminutive comprehension, but my comprehension is not diminutive. So, booktuber out there, I want you to respect people more and not put them into categories of feeling too much or wanting triggers explained to them, because triggering is a thing. So, my dear friends, I'm sorry for my rant, and if you don't agree with it or not, but I'm a person who is going to tell it like it is. And if it gets me in trouble, it gets me in trouble. And if you like this person, if you know this person, great. But I'm not going to be his subscriber, because he might think he's very smart, but smart is not everything. Mind is not everything. Heart, love is where it's at, in my view. So I read holistically, and I want trigger warnings. So my friends, thank you for listening to this. And please subscribe if you're so inclined, and hit the notification bell. And there might be more tea spilled in the future. But this is not a channel where I spill tea. There's other people on the internet that do this on a daily basis. I just have to bring it out when I have to. So until we meet again, my friends, welcome to my holly, my house, and you're welcome back. Aloha oi.